This video will contain multiple spoilers for Bojack Horseman. If you are not caught up with the show, then you may not want to watch this video. Enjoy! Hello everybody, this is Kirby over yonder, and Season 5 of Bojack Horseman is right around the corner, and I am very excited. As I've said before, Bojack Horseman is my favorite TV show, and each season just gets better and better than the last. I would like to share with you guys what I think and what I hope will happen in the 5th season of Bojack Horseman. So, here we go. We'll start with Bojack. First off, we do know that he's going to be working on a show with Princess Carolyn, which, as hinted at in the Season 4 finale, probably won't do well since apparently the script is horrible. Though Bojack and Princess Carolyn working together does mean that they'll probably talk a lot more often than they did in Season 4. I think Bojack's arc of this season will mostly consist of him trying to be a better person, possibly quit some of his bad habits like having sex, drinking, and smoking, focus on self-improvement, be generally nicer to the people around him, and maybe even repair some of his friendships like with Princess Carolyn or Todd. And as I stated in a previous video, I'm pretty sure the F-word either won't be used at all in this season, or will be used at a character that isn't Bojack. This is due to the way the F-word was handled last season, as well as just the fact that Bojack is being a better person now, and doesn't make the same mistakes that he did in the first 3 seasons. I also do believe that there will be a funeral for Bojack's mom, most likely in the first episode, due to the fact that it was made pretty clear that her life is almost up. As for Hollyhock, it would be pretty nice to actually see her interact with her mother, and as well as to actually see her mother's face. But it would also be pretty nice for her to still keep in touch with Bojack, maybe by calling him every once in a while. I don't know if Hollyhock would really have an arc of this season, but I really hope we still get to see her. I kind of already explained what I think will happen with Princess Carolyn this season. She'll work on the show with Bojack, probably get a lot closer to Bojack, and I'm sure at one point she'll realize that the show she's working on is actually awful, maybe be depressed about that, but then move on to something else. She's probably come to terms with the fact that she's not going to be able to have kids, and will probably go back to focusing on her career. Judging by the end of their story in the Season 4 finale, I think it's pretty clear that Diane and Mr. Peanut Butter are going to get divorced. I feel like both characters will deal with it in different, but both very unhealthy ways. I feel like Diane will try to crash at Bojack's place like she did in Season 2, though since Bojack is a much healthier person than he was back then, he'll probably reject her and Diane will have to crash at another character's house. Mr. Peanut Butter, on the other hand, I believe will commit suicide. I mean, it just makes sense for this show, especially if this is supposed to be the last season, which granted it may or may not be. I mean, in the beginning, Mr. Peanut Butter was the happiest character on the show. However, as the seasons went on and more bad things happened to him, we started to see a more unhappy side to Mr. Peanut Butter. I feel like losing Diane would be the straw that breaks the camel's back for him. It'll probably be one of the saddest moments on the show. On to a brighter note, let's talk about Todd. As I stated earlier, I do believe that Todd and Bojack will make up. I mean, they kind of already did in Season 4, but they really only talked one time in that entire season. It would be nice to see Bojack and Todd actually hang out again, especially since Bojack's gotten rid of some of his bad habits. I don't think they'll be as close as they were in Seasons 1 and 2, especially since Todd has become more of an independent person since then, but it would be neat to see them hang out more. You could also expect to see Todd dating Yolanda, not much to say there. Speaking as someone who is asexual, I honestly think that Todd's asexuality was really well handled in Season 4. I think it'll be interesting to see how Todd deals with some of the oppression that asexuals get. Like being told that he's not human, or that asexuality isn't real, you know, stuff like that that just makes my day. I don't think Season 5 will talk about Todd being asexual as much as Season 4 did, but I hope they don't stop talking about it entirely. But I also just kinda wanna see Todd up to his weird shenanigans again, since they're probably the funniest aspect of the show for me. Also, what the heck happened to Emily? I mean, she was in the first episode of season 4 and was mentioned in the third episode, but besides that, it's like she basically just disappeared from the show. Like, what did she do after realizing Todd was asexual? Did she move on to another guy? Did she get depressed? I genuinely want to know. Speaking of characters that disappeared, I also really want to know what happened to Penny. I mean, how did her mother react after seeing her doing you-know-what with Bojack? Did it change the family dynamic? What happened? Did it traumatize Penny? I mean, she seemed fine in season 3, so how'd she get over that? I want answers. So those were just about all the hopes and predictions I had for season 5 of Bojack Horseman. I can't wait for this 5th season to air. Bojack Horseman is my absolute favorite show, and each season just gets better and better. So what are your guys' hopes and predictions for season 5 of Bojack Horseman? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Kirby, out.